Okay, so now we're going to put the frame. Remember we talked about the frame. You always want to make sure this is wrapped and protected when you're delivering the photo booth. So this frame, which is pretty much just sit on the outside. Just rests right on there. It doesn't clip in or anything like that. It just sits right on the outside of the photo booth and just rests right. Now. So this is a touchscreen mirror photo booth. It's interactive. It's a good way for guests to, interact with the photo booth and have fun. So pretty much they're gonna come up and touch the screen, or you can do it for them. It just depends on the scenario. So you're gonna touch the screen here.
Let's get this party started.
And they would step back. So you always want to test the
3,
photo before
2,
you actually.
1. That photo was fire.
So this one's going to take 3 photos. So you want to, this right now, what I'm doing
3,
is just testing the photos,
2,
making sure everything
1.
is working good.
This one's going to be a keeper.
Making sure if you do
Smile.
have a backdrop that is in the right position, that you're not seeing
3,
the ceiling
2,
or the
1.
side or the floor,
Strike a
stuff
pose.
like that.
Looking good today. Get ready to sign your creation.
So at this point, guests can sign the photo, and usually what happens is so anywhere in that dotted screen, with their fingers, they can sign. So it can be more than one person signing. The only thing, too many fingers may slow it down a little bit, but each person can come in and sign something if they want. So, I come and sign, next person can sign, they can draw, they can do hashtags. So right now I'm gonna just print one copy because I'm just doing a test just to see how it looks. At the event, we try to do as least as possible because the paper is expensive and you don't want to run out of paper. So if it's big groups, you want to control the crowd and sort of give maybe 3 or 4 copies. If they persist, that they want 5 copies. I mean that's different. You don't want to fight with the customer, but you sort of have to control the crowd. If it's just one person or a couple, you can just give them one. You know what I mean? Especially if they're older couples and stuff like that, they may not know the function of the photo booth. So you just give them one or whatever. They should be okay. And of course, they can always come back to do photos, right? So I'm gonna hit print there.
I can see into your future.
It's gonna print out the photo. And then we have the photo here. So this is what I was showing you earlier about this one. See right all up here we're seeing the ceiling? That's a no-no. So you want to make sure you either bring the photo booth closer so you can cut off all this here, or you can move the backdrop closer. All right, so you probably have to take another photo just to make sure you get it right, and that's where all the signature shows up at the bottom of the photo. So like I said, you may have to do a couple of shots to get the photo booth in the right position for your pictures. Now the key thing, once you've got the right setup and everything is good and your backdrop is placed good and everything is placed in the right position, you do not want to move the photo booth at all from that point. So the customer says, oh, I want you to move it, to move the photo booth over here. You just kindly explain to them, unfortunately, you've already set everything up, and by you unplugging stuff may mess up stuff, and that way it may not work. You don't want to run into any problems. So you just kindly tell them, unfortunately you can't. You've already set up, and then also that's going to even delay you even more. So you don't want to run into any problems. You just leave it as is. It's good. And that's it. So another thing you got to keep in mind when it comes to the physical appearance of the photos is you got to double check when you do your test photos. You got to double check how much lighting there is. If there's not enough lighting, you have to adjust the flash in the back to add more lighting. And if there's too much lighting, you want to decrease the flash. You don't want anyone to be looking like a ghost, and you don't want anyone to be, looking like the Batman, right? So you have to adjust the flash based on your event and scenario that you're in. So that's one of the things you have to look at. The picture I showed you earlier, that was a little dark. Usually you have to adjust that flash a little bit to turn it up, and that can all be done on the back of the flash here.